Football is unpredictable. One moment, a team is celebrating victory. The next, everything falls apart in the final seconds. Today, we're diving into the craziest last-minute moments that shocked fans. But as we go along, the moments will only get more absurd. So stick around till the end, because you won't believe what happens last. Let's start with some football royalty, Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Firstly, it was Messi. When PSG desperately wanted a savior, he came through with a brilliant free kick in stoppage time, bending it past the wall and into the top corner. The crowd erupted, the defenders stood frozen, and Messi again proved why he stands among the greatest of all time. But in case Messi's last-moment magic was not sufficient, Cristiano Ronaldo had his brush with insanity. While the clock was deep into injury time, in came the cross, and with his legendary leap, Ronaldo thundered a header into the net. It was not merely a goal, it was a proclamation. The man lives for this, to turn the game around with utmost importance. Now from legendary goals to absolute disasters. Bayern Munich's Manuel Neuer is a quintessential sweeper-keeper, but even legends can err. In a match that mattered, he opted to come forward for a corner in the dying minutes. The downside? Opponents recycled the ball and counterattacked. The goalkeeper was nowhere to be seen. Calmly, one went on to tuck it into the unguarded net as Bayern fans watched on in disbelief. How ecstatic one can feel believing to have scored the goal for his team's survival in the World Cup, only to have it taken away in a moment. The stadium was full of sound. Teammates joined in the celebration. For a second, it felt like victory was within grasp. Until VAR stopped it all. The footage was reviewed by the referee. The much-feared offside decision was called, and there went joy, and with it, any hope of Uruguay's glory was snuffed in an instant. It is an immediate reaction, strong and wild. Players are still trying to follow up with what had just happened. Some wiped tears during their emotional roller coaster, while others expressed their grief with anger directly towards the referee. Out in the field barricade, everything had now heated even more, and a riot broke out. Yellow cards started rolling all over as players engaged in arguments, protests, and finally pleadings, with nothing to change the call. Instead, it ended. Their World Cup dream became history in a park filled with devastation and outrage. Stamford Bridge has seen its fair share of unforgettable moments, but this one was pure chaos. It was deep in stoppage time when tension reached fever pitch as Antony went down inside the box. The referee pointed to the spot and controversially awarded the penalty, sending shockwaves around the stadium. The Chelsea players immediately protested to the referee to explain his decision, while the fans burst out in deafening boos, adding to the tension inside the stadium. What followed were several minutes of protests and confusion. Players were arguing, tempers were flaring, and the referee was trying to calm tempers on the pitch. On the other hand, no matter how much Chelsea screamed for it, the decision stood, the penalty was given, and the ball went into the net at the worst time for Chelsea. Stamford Bridge was silent, with shock and disappointment spreading among the still dazed Chelsea supporters. Germany was on the brink of being thrown out of the World Cup. Time had hit 95 minutes, a free kick from one of the most impossible angles. But Toni Kroos had different plans. With absolute precision, he bent the ball around the wall and into the net, saving Germany at the very last moment. The celebration, pure relief ecstasy. Now, let's talk about comebacks that left fans speechless. Some comebacks take time and build up through several phases in a match. But this was something different. It happened within seconds. For Ghana, who could have had their hopes slaughtered by a miracle, it would have brought in the best drama ever. The first goal set the crowd into a frenzy amid rekindled hope when all seemed to be lost. Fans leaped from their seats in wild cheering, convinced they had seen the opening salvos of something magnificent. Then, before the dust had settled on the celebration, boom, came another goal that crashed into the net. The stadium exploded in sheer doubt. The opponents stood rooted in their places, unable to fathom what just happened in front of them. In a heartbeat, Ghana had turned around, from the depths of despair to the summit of success, one of the most astonishing turnarounds that is arguably in football history. For all the heartbreak, i.e., moments like the one in 2009, not much can come close to that because Chelsea was just seconds away from the final of the Champions League when there was then desperation displayed as Barcelona looked for the miracle at the other end. The stadium is at a high pitch, about to go off at the seams when suddenly Andrés Iniesta appears in free space. His swing unleashed a stunning shot that instantly flew right into the top corner of the net, making it impossible for the goalkeeper to do anything. When it comes to Chelsea, this is enough grief to write a novel. Players dropped to the pitch, some with heads in hands, others just standing frozen, eyes wide. The home fans fell silent as their dreams shattered. Meanwhile, Barcelona stormed out, players running all over the pitch in euphoria. In just one move, Iniesta turned what would have been Chelsea's history-making moment into heartbreak, earning him a place in the annals of Champions League history. A moment every Chelsea fan will remember forever. Barcelona was attacking with everything they had, desperate to score. Then suddenly, Chelsea countered. Fernando Torres broke free, rounded the goalkeeper and scored in the dying seconds to send Chelsea into the Champions League final. Gary Neville's famous "Oh" commentary summed it up perfectly. Tottenham were almost outside the window of elimination, watching their Champions League dream slip away every moment. The clock winded down, and hope vanished fast. Then, out of nothing, Lucas Moura pulled a moment of pure magic, completed his dramatic hat trick with the final kick of the game, sent the ball crashing into the net, and sent Spurs into the final. And for a split second there was silence before an explosion of totally uncontrollable joy. It was a madness of extraordinary proportions. The players of Spurs fell on their knees, some crying, overburdened by emotion. The coach, Mauricio Pochettino, fell to his knees before a shower of water because of an impromptu flood of emotions into him. All was then havoc in the stadium while the fans were busy celebrating what will be history as one of the greatest comebacks in football. Tottenham had done the impossible, booking their last-dash final berth in the most dramatic possible fashion. The World Cup final, Spain versus Netherlands, extra time. Everyone was waiting for penalties. Then, suddenly, Andrés Iniesta found himself in space, controlled the ball and smashed it into the net. Spain was the world champion. The celebration? Legendary. When Chelsea needed a hero, Diego Costa stepped up. In a tense, title-deciding game, he bulldozed through defenders and fired in a last-second winner, securing the league for Chelsea. Stamford Bridge erupted, and Costa ran to the crowd in celebration. There's no last-minute moment bigger than this. Manchester City needed a goal to win the Premier League. The clock hit 9:32 a.m. Sergio Aguero received the ball inside the box and scored. The stadium exploded. The most dramatic title win ever. If you thought the last-minute moments in football couldn't get any crazier, think again. From VAR decisions that defy belief to miracle finishes that left stadiums in absolute chaos, these are the most ridiculous, over-the-top endings in football history. Only the best clutch player can raise his game to the level it needs to reach when the stakes are highest, and that is Cristiano Ronaldo. It was a time when Real Madrid was actually in a desperate situation in a Champions League quarterfinal match. They needed to score a goal to keep their dreams alive. And as time ticked down, everything was unbearable. Then came that last-minute referee call. Yes, Madrid's penalty. The entire stadium held its breath as Ronaldo stepped forward, fully acknowledging that the fate of his team rested on his shoulders. The pressure was beyond intense. The goalkeeper stood ready, the crowd roared, and the weight of expectation was immense. But nothing could shake Ronaldo. He locked eyes with the keeper, took a deep breath, and then unleashed a perfect strike into the top corner. Ice cold. The ball rippled the net as if sealing an unbelievable comeback and sending Madrid into the semi-finals. The stadium erupted, fans celebrated wildly, and once again Ronaldo proved why he thrives in the biggest moments. And that's why we love football. It's unpredictable, chaotic, and sometimes just plain ridiculous. From last-second VAR drama to goalkeeping disasters, the game never fails to deliver shocking moments. So, what's the most insane last-minute moment you remember? Let us know in the comments. And if you want more crazy football stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon. Because in football, it's never over until it's over.